The Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway vintage cars getting set to practice here. October 7th, 2018. And an old favorite and a record breaker back in 1975. The John and Paul Gilbertson Javelin. And guess who's behind the wheel for Fest this year? None other than the guy that drove it originally and won all those races, Tom Reffner. And you got Ken Lewis in a Dick Trickle White Knight look-alike car. Lots of vintage race cars to participate. Billy Martin in a Matador. Car that looks like what Bob Gisola years ago drove. Woody Poole in a Torino. And a Mike Wall Coors Light look-alike car to what Dick Trickle drove. And that is driven by former track champion here, Todd Korish. And in the 91, you got a car that looked like what Marv Marzufka used to drive. And of course, the 18 restored to original Mike Miller Camaro that he won the 1981 Minnesota State Fair with. Dan Naverstad himself driving. And Mike Miller is actually here this weekend. Not driving the car, but helping Tom Reffner out and looking things over with the 18. Just like battles of old. Miller Reffner, how about that? Just about set to go here with the second heat race of the vintage group. Dan Naverstad in the 18 Camaro that Mike Miller drove to victory in 1981 at the Minnesota State Fair. Mike on the grounds today helping out the guy right behind him in the 88 Javelin, Tom Reffner. Reffner returns to race. Excuse me here. Must be the cold weather. All 78 years old of him taking a whack at it here today on October 7th as part of Oktoberfest. Number of Dick Trickle look-alike cars, including the white Mustang driven by Ken Lewis, the Coors Light car driven by Todd Korish, there's your green flag. And kind of like days of old, 88 and 18 racing each other. And trickle on trickle. Korish takes the lead. Of course, a Marzufka look-alike car, the 91. Screaming Yellow Zonker. That was your white flag. Huh? And it's the Upper Midwest Vintage Racing Tour Another feature here on October 7th at Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Of course, the big news being Tom Reffner in his AMC Javelin. Actually, it's a car that looks just like the one Reffner drove back in 1975. And he's competing in the 15-lap feature here today. Mike Miller on the pit crew today for the car. And a car Mike Miller drove back in 1981 to the Minnesota State Fair 300 victory in the race with Dan Naverstad driving. "15 laps to go." That's your green flag. looks like Todd Korish in the Dick Trickle Coors Light lookalike car. Gonna win it with 1 lap to go. Kenny Lewis, third. Woody Poole's winning streak will be over. Third. And Tom Reffner, more than likely his last race ever, in a solid 4th position. And that's where he finishes. Great tribute to a great driver. Thanks to the Gilbertson brothers and all that help to get the car ready for entertaining race.